Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1, Episode 20. It's called The Arsenal of Freedom. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, this episode features the Enterprise checking out a planet. They're looking for a missing ship. They get like a broadcast from it. It's like a salesman. It's basically like the shopping channel comes on.
Pretty much.
When they get close, because this planet became wealthy for selling weapons. Riker, Data, and Tasha go down to the planet and encounter these drone weapons, these little floating robots that kind of keep trying to attack them. And we get him a bit of a pickle. Riker gets kind of trapped in a force field. For some reason, Picard beams down with Dr. Crusher. And then they get into a bit of a pickle when Crusher gets injured, and Geordi's left in charge of the ship, and they end up having their own pickle because there's
a lot of pickles to go around this time.
There's a ship attacking them, some cloaked ship. It's not a Klingon ship, not a bird of prey, but there's a cloaked ship of some kind. And then there's not really an ending to the episode. Everything just kind of gets resolved very quickly, and that's kind of
it. Pretty much.
There's very little that actually ends the episode beyond just a couple of quick, oh, this is how we solve this. All right, done.
Yeah.
So, did you enjoy The Arsenal of Freedom?
It's a mixed bag. I really like one of the plot lines. One of them is okay, and the other one is eh.
Okay, let's start with a good one. What was a good one?
Geordi.
You like the Geordi plot?
Yeah, I think all the stuff with him is pretty excellent. Him, having to kind of man up and be in control, in command of the ship. He's getting challenged by some other guy going, "Hey, I'm more senior. Maybe you're making the wrong calls." And
yeah, it's the head of engineering who's challenging him. Notably, a different character. I was informed of this between episodes, but I didn't notice when I was watching this was not the same guy, because I was expecting a guy with a beard, because there was a couple of episodes we've had so far where the chief engineer has been this dude with a beard. There's an amusing story to go along with this as to why it's not him anymore.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because otherwise it was just bored.
Well, basically, he wanted to have a more prominent role in the show, so he faked fan mail, saying how great he was and like that people wanted him on the show. But he kind of messed it up a little bit because he had some of the fan mail reference an episode that hadn't aired yet. And they let him go. So that's why I was a new chief engineer.
Okay, that's a good story. I'll lay off.
But yeah, so that was amusing. So yeah, I mean, like the first time the engineer comes up and he's like, "Hey, I outrank you," and Jordy's like, "Hey, well, yeah, but Picard put me in charge, so until he comes back and relieves me of this duty, you're not taking this from me." When he says that to him, the engineer dude gives him this really evil look. He does a sort of up and down glance at him, and it is so seething. Like he wants to just tear his head off right there and then.
It is, and then there's like, Joe's like, right, now go back down to engineering, and he hesitates. He's not sure he wants to listen to these commands, but he does eventually. But he really makes a point of thinking about it.
What is it exactly you like about this plot? Because it's not that I necessarily dislike it, but I'm having a hard time.
I think I just like what it was doing with his character. I think it's the most character he's had so far. I don't know. Just the general, him having to step up and.
I guess I felt like he never really had much of a, because it was basically just him kind of like pushing his luck more and more, right, and playing risky with the ship's shields because he's trying to catch where this attacker's coming from. And he has the idea to separate the saucer from the base of the ship, and he sends the engineer in charge of the saucer off to safety, to save all the civilians. And and they did build this secondary bridge for when this happens, and we've not really seen it, I don't think, since the pilot. So I guess they wanted to use this again. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to separate the ship because I've got the authority to do that now." I guess, like, I just felt like there wasn't really much that he learned in the episode, or it didn't go through much of an arc, I guess.
No, I disagree with that, because you have the whole bit where it starts off with he's really unsure of himself, and he's just kind of just suggesting things on the hoof a bit.
Sure.
He has a conversation with Troy, right? And it's okay. You got to be more of a leader. You're not just in command of just giving the orders. You've got to actually be giving encouragement to the younger officers. And he comes out and he's better for that afterwards. He's paying them a bit more attention.
I guess it's just a little bit too flick of a switch for me, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Physically has that one conversation with Troy, comes back out. Maybe it would also help if the two, officers that he's encouraging are people we've seen before, because they're not.
That might have helped, yeah.
They're completely nobody's.
Although I think in some ways it works because we haven't, in the fact that no, that's how fresh these guys are.
I think my other problem with this plot is that Picard going down with Dr. Crusher, I don't understand why, and
I was ignoring that.
They don't even give an explanation as to why he's going with her. He just is. And don't get me wrong, the original series, Kirk always went on the missions, but after a couple of episodes, you just got used to the fact that he always went on the missions. But
this hasn't been doing that as much.
Yeah, this show has been very specific about Riker saying, "No, you're the captain. You stay on the ship. I go and do the dangerous things. You stay here."
Notable that Riker's already gone and can't be given any help at this point when Picard makes this choice.
Riker's incapacitated. Oh, no one to tell me off for this. Yes.
Oh, time to go down, I think.
Yeah, and then his plot with Crusher basically is that she gets trapped under some rubble when they fall down a pit.
This is the one I found particularly tedious.
Yeah, it's a little bit of bonding because she happens to know like how to test like the plants to see if they're useful from a medicinal usage.
Yeah,
and then Picard kind of saves the day by like finding the salesman kind of core, and ultimately like the trick is that everything that's happening was a test exercise.
It's a sales pitch.
It was a sales pitch with the weaponry. It was a demonstration, and they were so good that they ended up wiping out everyone on this planet. Right? It killed everyone, and he actually ends it by just saying, "Okay, we'll buy it. I'll buy the weapons. Stop now," and it stops them.
It's pretty. I mean, I was thinking when this was going on, why not just end it like that? And I thought they were going to try and come up with some, fancy way around it. Because it seems the obvious thing to do, right? But so I appreciated that the obvious outcome was what they went with.
And this because the weapons like are learning weapons. Like the first time the drone attacks Data, Tasha, and Riker, like one phaser blast takes care of it. The second time it takes 2 phasers. The third time it's like 3 phasers for like 5 minutes of just constant beaming. And it's like, okay, the next one we're not going to be able to tackle because every time it comes back it's stronger. It's adapting. Yeah. It's learning how to cope with what we're hitting it with. I was like, okay, and because there was a whole thing where Riker sees the captain of this previous ship that went missing that he knows, that he recognizes, and it turns out to just be the weapons kind of like a hologram.
It's a projection.
It's a lure essentially.
Yeah.
And that never really went any great place.
Honestly, all the stuff with the missing ship didn't.
Yeah, everything gets brought up again. At the end, they just want to leave, and that's it. It's like, okay, we can go now. I guess they assume that they all get killed by the weapons, but like it ends up a really upbeat note because when they come back on the ship, Picard's on the bridge, and Geordi's like, "Oh, Captain, there's your chair back." He's like, "Hey, I left you with the Enterprise in one piece. I expect to have it returned in one piece. So you sit down and you get my ship back together." So
it's a reasonable request.
But the episode ends with him sitting down, and Geordi's all happy. He's like, "Engage," and it goes to crowd like everyone died on the ship.
I'm sure when Riker's talking to the projection as well, he figures out pretty quickly that it's not really this captain, and he's probing for information. And the guy says something about the ship in present tense, and he's like, so the ship's still around. It's still somewhere.
Yeah, and he's also asking for like the Enterprise's like defense capabilities, and I guess that makes sense because there's the ship in space that does attack the Enterprise. Although what I didn't understand is why when Picard turns off all the weapons, and they stop attacking Riker and co, the one in space that's attacking the ship doesn't stop. Geordi actually still has to defeat that in combat, and I didn't understand why. If it's all part of the same system and same demonstration,
it's a fair question.
Because I got really confused for a second because it cut back up to space and he was like, "Yes, everyone ready, fire!" Because he does something fancy to reveal the ship using the atmosphere of the planet to reveal it, and
maybe it was gonna disengage a minute later. It just hadn't got the message yet.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, because it was cutting around pretty quickly.
Because I assumed when it cut back up, it was going to be like, oh wait, it's stopped attacking us now. It's decloaked. It's just sitting there.
They were already deep in the atmosphere dive though at that point when they disabled it. So maybe it was just too late.
But yeah, I guess ultimately I didn't really feel like any of the plots kind of went anywhere great. I mean, maybe the Jodha one has the most, but each one felt like they kind of just came to an end. And like I say, the Riker one especially felt like it was all front loaded and then just didn't really have much of a resolution. Because obviously, after that point, it's just about surviving the drones. Like the mystery, because at the start of the episode when they're like, "Hey, he's talking to this Captain Rice," but there's no energy readings. Like there's no life readings down on that planet except Riker and Data and Tasha. What's going on? I was like, "Well, that's a good mystery. What is going on?" And ultimately, it didn't really matter or was up too much.
I think when I ranked the 3 threads at the start, Geordie, I think, has the most. Maybe in a better episode, I wouldn't be as positive on this, but in this episode, I found it relatively enjoyable. Riker's, I thought, was enjoyable enough to watch, even if it didn't really go anywhere. It was okay. It was the Picard stuff, with Crusher and going through the herbs and like that was kind of tedious. I was struggling. I thought that was a chore.
But for me, the problem is they set this whole mechanic where the drones can like do holograms of people they know. They're like, all right, why
didn't really go anywhere with it?
Yeah, why not use that again in some way? Or if not a person, why not like, I don't know, pretend to be something that they might go towards so that they can then strike or something. I don't know.
No, I agree. It was underutilized.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird to set it up. Like, why even have this scene where he talks to this captain that's not real? You could just not have that part.
You could.
So yeah, we were this. I do want to mention though the actor who plays the salesman in the videos.
Oh, for God's sake!
What?
Go on.
It was good. I just wanted to mention it was good.
And
he may or may not have appeared in a couple of episodes of the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was Jenny's uncle in season 2.
You done?
I recognised him though immediately. He's got a very distinct look to him. But yeah, you knew it was coming.
I did. Do you know what the worst part is? You warned me about this, and then I completely forgot.
Oh, it's glorious. No. So yeah, overall, a bit of a dud. It's a very middling episode. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not offensively bad. It's just kind of aimless.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as for next episode, we have an episode called Symbiosis, and here's the description on the IMDb's. The Enterprise encounters 2 neighbouring cultures, one suffering from a plague, the other marketing a cure, and learns that nothing is as simple as it seems. Alright, classic.
So they learn that one planet's a dick.
Classic 2-culture. Because the original series did this once or twice where it would be like 2 cultures either at war or 2 cultures in disputes, or even it'd be like the upper class and the lower class. But I'm getting those vibes from this.
No, I agree. We even went to the extreme where the people who were the black and white.
Oh yeah, it was like one half. Yeah, one half was black, one half was white in the face. Yeah. So it's a classic Star Trek kind of thing to play with, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, there was no Wesley in this episode, but I'm finding this really annoying trend that there's a lot of like mediocre episodes that don't have Wesley, and a lot of the good episodes have Wesley in them, despite the fact that we don't like Wesley.
Correlation does not equal causation.
It's a worrying trend, is all I'm saying. Can we not have our cake and eat it too?
Yes, maybe one day.
Give me a good episode and not have Wesley, and that's like, that's Christmas.
Yeah, let's go to the beach. That's how good it would be. Christmas on the beach.
That's like a terrible Christmas. No. It's awful. That's not the spirit or mood of Christmas at all. No, you want cold weather. You want warm sort of a fireplace with the cozy and the Christmas lights, and I don't know how Australians do it. Australians, it's this bright summer time during Christmas.
I've done Christmas on the beach before.
It was like hell.
Have a barbecue, really, and honestly, just where I live, snow is bloody dangerous outside when it melts because where I live, there's no grit, and it's like Bambi when I try and leave the house. It's not good.
I don't get that reference.
Bambi trying to walk, and the legs all splay and he just falls over.
All right, yeah. I saw Bambi when I was like 6. So I don't see it.
Look, most people will have got that reference.
The only thing I know about Bambi is the mug gets shot in the head.
I mean, spoilers, dude.
It's the setup. It's the inciting incident. Shut up. The inciting incident is not a spoiler.
No, I know.
With the exception of maybe in a sequel where it may be a spoiler for the first movie, or so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, there you go. That's Next Generation, season 1, episode 20. You can let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. You can like and subscribe and all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show and the channel and everything we do here, you can head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv, where you can support us for as little as $1 per month, and you can get some stuff early, including the Star Trek reviews. You get some bonuses, all that kind of thing. But otherwise, that is us. If we're going to promote anything else, you should be checking out. If you like classic TV shows, I'm also doing reviews with Tara on the original Twilight Zone. Those might be of interest if you're into old sci-fi. So go check out those. But anyway, that is us. So thank you once again for watching and listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV. And to everyone but Connor, live long and prosper.